back to my channel, Work Besties, and thank you for being here. Today, I'm excited to walk you through something that's helped me a lot in my personal life. It's the creation of what's commonly known as a vision board. I like to more reframe that as like a focus energy board. I do not have any formal training in vision boarding. Truly, before I started doing this, I had no interest in it. And then I was like, I'm gonna do it in a way that makes sense for me. And this is kind of what I've stumbled on. And maybe this could help you too if you're, from what you've seen out there, the traditional vision board isn't really appealing to you. Maybe this way of approaching it is more doable or interesting to you, and maybe not. And you're like, nope, no thanks, Laura, doesn't work for me. And that's cool too. So let's get into it. I want you to get a pen and paper, or pencil and paper. We're not gonna go digital yet, but this is going to be a digital energy focus board. Feel free to pause this video at any time if you need time to work on things. I actually highly encourage that. As we get to each step, give it a pause, take time to do the exercise, and then come back to the next step, and we'll kind of work through it together. And hopefully by the end of this, you'll have a focus board, and maybe this is a practice you want to incorporate in your life long term. So the idea, or I think the benefit that I've found in doing this practice, is it promotes the idea of stopping, pausing, reflecting, and getting really intentional with where you want to focus your energy moving forward, what areas of your life you want to prioritize and really dive into this next season of life. It also provides us with some sort of direction or guiding principles, if you will. So whenever I'm in a situation that an opportunity maybe has presented itself and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should take that on, I can look at my vision board and be like, well, does it align with an area of focus in my life right now? It's something I'm trying to cultivate. And sometimes that's immediate, Yep, absolutely. And sometimes it's like, that opportunity is great, but not for me right now. This is more where I'm focusing. So let's get started. First, I want you to start thinking about 4 areas of your life that you want to focus on. Like things that are really drawing your attention when I say that. And for example, on my last vision board, which I'll share, my 4 areas were career, home life, me, so something about me personally, whether that's physical, emotional, spiritual, but it's something focused specifically about me, for me. And the last one was relationship or connection with others, social relationships. So those were my 4 areas. This is going to look so different for everyone depending on how your life looks right now, what you're navigating through, what you're going through. And I want you to think of it as, big areas in this current chapter of your life, things that you want to bring a lot of intention to. You don't need to get super specific. We can keep them broad right now. Areas you're looking for growth or change within your life, perhaps an area where you are struggling, maybe an area you're looking to navigate through. Maybe you're going through a big change right now. Maybe you feel a big shift coming into your life in a specific area. I want you to highlight that area. So I want you to write these down on a piece of paper. The 4 general areas in life that you want to focus on for this vision board, mood board, energy board, whatever you want to call it, works for me. Once you have those areas that you really want to dial into, I want you to assign 1 word to each area. So for example, when I was making my last board and I had my area focused on career, 1 word that came to mind of something I really wanted to cultivate within the area of my life was learning. So it was a season for me of saying yes to things I might not understand. A lot of getting exposure to things that I might not be familiar with. I wanted to get curious about things that I hadn't been exposed to in my career yet. So that was learn, was the word that I associate with that area of my life. When it came to my area of just personal, about me, I always encourage try to keep 1 area just about you, for you, something that you're working on for yourself. Mine was presence. So this idea of really intentionally being present in every single moment and taking a pause and not thinking so much about everything that's coming and everything you're doing in life. It's just to sit in moments and try to be present. That was the word I associate with that. So find a word that describes what you're cultivating or moving towards or focusing on within that area of life, and put it next to your focus areas. So those 4 focus areas. Pause the video if you need a moment. Please take the time you need to make it very intentional. And maybe the word comes to mind really quickly for you, and that's great too, but don't blow through these steps. I think that they're very important. I always find that the reflection period of defining where I want to focus my energy in my life is actually one of my favorite practices within creating this board. Sometimes we just get so busy in life and things are go, 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 go. But to actually take a step back and sit and be like, what does my life look like? Because don't take enough time to just acknowledge that. And what direction do I want to move in is incredibly powerful. Once you have your 4 areas and a word associated with each of them, I want you to start to go online and gather images that make sense to you for that word or area of life. So start to gather things that visually represent the word and area of life that you have just defined for yourself. Go ahead and spend some time online and gather a bunch of images for each section that makes sense for you. And once you've done that, come back to the video. I'll share what my vision board looked like here. You can kind of see I have the learn element and a lot of work related things, but also a lot of things I'm curious about. So getting a little more specific of what things I want to start to learn about. In my bucket of personal or home life, it was evolution. So I'm going through a massive change right now, a massive shift on the physical space I define as home. And my word for that was evolve. I am about to evolve this entire area of my life. Over here, you'll see the presence. Time can pass so quickly. And it's the idea of kind of slowing that down, taking moment for the small moments in life, and really being present within just my day-to-day life. And at the bottom, when I focused on social relationships, a big thing that comes up for me is community. I want to cultivate community. I want to find new communities. I want to find my people. I want to nourish the communities I'm already a part of, but that real focus on finding, building, connecting, nourishing community. So we're gonna make this digital board. That's my preference of doing it. I usually use Canva, their free version. They also have a paid version too. I've always used their free version. If you're like, yeah, Canva's not really my thing, fine. You can also do PowerPoint. Whatever tool makes the most sense to you, whatever you're the most familiar with. But if you are going the Canva route, you can actually type into their template, search like vision board or mood board. There'll be tons of different templates that come up, and just pick something that visually appeals to you. And that's kind of your starting point. But I will say, make sure within kind of each section, so I do it in landscape, and I want 4 defined areas of all 4 corners of that page. And in each, I'm gonna have text. So that word that I've defined for that area of life is gonna go in each sort of quadrant there. So I want you to go and find a design that works for you, or maybe you start in PowerPoint or something else and you just start with your words. So put your 4 words in their different quadrants. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to go through and start to embed the images within your mood board, your vision board, your focus board, your energy board. I really need to get one name for it, but I just feel like it depends what resonates with you, so I'm throwing them all out there. Go ahead now and start to fill in all of your images, but keep the images confined to kind of this section on the page. If they bleed a little bit into each other, that's okay. It's aesthetically whatever tickles your fancy. And once you're all done and happy with the way it looks and how everything's come out, I save the picture or the board onto my desktop, and I actually save it as my wallpaper, my background on my desktop, so that every time I'm on my computer, I have it right in front of me. And it's just visually apparent to me kind of at all times I'm on my laptop, which to be honest is a lot of the time. Save it there, or if there's another place, maybe you print it out and you want to put it up on a wall or whatever serves you best, but I save it as my desktop background. I tend to do this practice every 6 to 8 months, or I feel as though my focuses in life or what I want to be intentional about are really shifting. And maybe for you, that's every 3 months, maybe it's once a year. You kind of have to feel out what makes the most sense for you. But it's a really fun practice, because even as I look back at this board, and I made this board probably 5 months ago, and I know for a fact I'm going to be redoing it in like 2 months' time, I can kind of see how far I've come in different areas. Like when I look at that career and learn, I'm like, that's what I've been doing the last couple months. Like I'm really aligned with what I put out there on this board. As you've done this practice a few times, you can actually look back and kind of see how far you've come. And then over time, once you've done multiple of them, you can take a look back and just see how your priorities have shifted over time. Anyways, I wanted to share that with you because it's something I found really helpful within my own life. And I hope maybe you got something from this video, or you have a little bit more direction of how an energy or focus board can work for you. And I hope that you try it out. And let me know how it is if you do it in the comments, and maybe share your board. Maybe don't share your board. It depends how personal it is to you. But thank you for being here as always. And I'll see you in the next video. Work besties. Toodaloo.